Coach, how important was it to bounce back? I know it got closer there at the end than you'd like, but to bounce back in this kind of way before you go back on the road.
We needed to win. Finish the homestand. Wasn't quite the homestand we wanted, but finish the win. Now it's a 20-game sprint. Go on the road, get some focus, and a lot of big games coming up. But we absolutely had to have this one. So all credit to the guys that got it done.
Rudy was your only player in double digits at the half. Just what can you say about his offense tonight, early and often, helping you get going?
Yeah, I mean, he was really good on the glass. Guys found him in and around the paint. We took his time. He finished. He finished through contact, made his free throws. Really good, great game by him. And did a good job of waiting for the ball to come to him, just staying patient.
Chris, you talked about wanting to see Mike find a little bit of a rhythm. Did you see a little bit of that tonight and him looking for?
I think
his
so.
shot?
I mean, he was definitely more aggressive. We like that for sure. And got some clean, good looks from three, knocked him down in the middle of the run. And, feels like that's kind of what Mike's done when we've been able to build leads and play with a bunch of momentum. Is Mike has been key at getting threes kind of in transition or in the broken floor as well. So it was good.
Seems like neither Ant or Cat has been sharp lately.
Yeah.
What are you seeing from those two, and what do you think needs to happen to kind of get them back going?
I mean, they're just chasing the game too much, I think they got to pick up their decision making. I think Ant for sure tonight, was looking to facilitate. He talked about just kind of getting that ball moving early so everyone can touch it. He has to just make sure that he doesn't lose his aggressiveness. We still need him to be aggressive. I think it's a lot of Cat's issues have to do with spacing. Just get to better spacing like he was doing a couple weeks ago, where he has the shot, he has the closeout, and he has right now we're trying to post up in the mid range way too much, and it becomes a wrestling match, bogs down the floor. So looking forward to a good film session coming up here after our day off and starting to build things back in a better way.
Is the problem with sometimes having a little less aggressiveness on offense in these games that it does kind of seep into a little bit of less aggressive defense as well?
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes, maybe it was a weird game for him with the missed start. I don't know exactly what that was about. And also just kind of the injury to the elbow. But he picked it up when we needed to. As the game went along, he did a really good job of really picking it up and getting into Simons in particular. So
tonight, one of those nights where it shows just how important it is to have a group of mature veterans that you can kind of lean on.
Yes, very much so. Tonight was always going to be a case of finding the right guys and the right combinations who could put some distance in the game. So
Kyle Anderson, obviously one of those. He's just more broadly felt like a lot more congruent. In what you guys are doing. What has led to that he's been doing more so maybe over the last month?
Yeah. I think, I don't know. It just feels like he's settled down post-trade deadline. I think getting more comfortable with the rotation around everybody. When Monty comes in, I think it kind of helps everything. Just a little bit, kind of figuring out those combinations as a coach, as a staff. So just, lots of little things like that. I think it's also just you see it in his shot. He's just trusting his shot more, and he's been shooting it pretty well, So
it seems like the bench unit is moving without the ball a lot more than the starters are, and I mean that's one of the things you mentioned before the game, and I mean it shows up in the way the offense executes. Is that just, I mean, it seems like a basic thing that I know you've said to them before.
Yeah.
But it seems like and Monte in particular, especially if Slow-Mo's on the floor, because if you're moving when he's on the floor, he'll usually find you.
Yes.
So, I mean, why isn't that translating, do you think, among the starters?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, again, comes down to both Anthony and Cat. Guys who just want the ball early, and they are trying to play into the teeth of the defense too much. We got to get back to trusting our early structures, things that we've been doing well at times, and just playing out of that a lot more. And I think that's key for having Mike operate, because he needs those structures to operate in too. And then but that's really it. I mean, they got to be able to put the work in without the ball, and everybody. It's a responsibility for everybody. Whether it's Rudy rolling or it can't be just Jaden and Nikhil cutting. It has to be everybody. You cut when the defense dictates you cut. You roll the switch. You respace for the guy coming into your area. So just things like that. But we get caught watching the ball a lot, and when we watch the ball, we don't move. So.
Chris, you touched on it a little bit, but did you get an explanation what happened with Ant? Why wasn't he out there?
I didn't know, so you have to ask him. So, thanks.
Rudy tonight threw a couple of deeper outlets, especially the one at the end of the third quarter. Was that something you had talked to him about, or did that kind of just happen in the?
Well, we talked about getting some depth in transition and getting out. We have been coming down the floor in one long line, and we needed to get some people we could throw the ball ahead to. So we got out ahead, and he was able to throw over top, and that's able to we didn't set the world on fire we only had 7 fast break points, but we played a lot faster at times. So.